Good morning, beloved. Today, I want to speak to you about something that will change the way you experience every single day of your life. It is not a motivational thought, and it is not a mere suggestion. Come, I want to show you what truly happens when you understand the power of a 30-minute morning prayer using Psalm 120. Come, many people pray because they were told to pray. They pray because it is a habit or a ritual. Come, but there is a difference between praying and understanding the prayer you are praying. Understanding brings life. Come, that understanding brings power. Understanding brings alignment with God. And that is why today, come, I am speaking directly to your spirit. When you understand what it means to start your day with focused, intentional prayer, your life begins to operate on a higher frequency. Psalm 120 is not just words, it is a declaration, a spiritual weapon, a shield. It is a cry for deliverance from lies, strife, and oppression. But if you simply read it or recite it without understanding, it becomes noise. Once you understand it, come, every verse becomes a fortress around your life. Suddenly, deceit cannot touch you. Conflicts lose their power. Hidden attacks become visible, and you walk in protection you cannot see, but you feel. That is the first thing that happens when you understand. Your spiritual awareness sharpens. You begin to see what is real and what is false. You begin to navigate life with discernment. The second thing that happens is that your mindset transforms. Fear, anxiety, and doubt begin to lose their grip. Why? Because you know that this is not ordinary prayer. It is a 30-minute declaration of God's protection and favor. Come, you rise with expectation. You walk with confidence. Every thought aligns with peace. Every decision aligns with wisdom. And every interaction aligns with favor. The third thing is that you begin to experience consistency and discipline. Come, understanding gives you a reason to be intentional. You no longer pray half-heartedly or hurriedly. You commit 30 minutes daily because you see the results. Your life begins to change. Relationships improve. Opportunities arise. You attract favor. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. Come, you are under the guidance and protection of God. Finally, understanding Psalm 120 morning prayer brings life alignment. Come, your day, your actions, your words, and your decisions begin to resonate with divine timing. What used to be struggle now becomes breakthrough. What used to be confusion now becomes clarity. Doors open that were previously closed. You experience favor in ways you never imagined. Beloved, when you understand prayer, it stops being an obligation and becomes a powerful encounter with God. When you understand, come, your life becomes unstoppable. When you understand, Psalm 120 becomes not just a prayer, but a lifestyle. So today, I challenge you, do not just pray. Understand, meditate, declare, walk in alignment, and watch as God's protection, favor, and supernatural peace transform your days starting this morning. Spiritual awareness and sensitivity. Come, one of the greatest transformations that comes when you understand the 30-minute Psalm 120 morning prayer is the awakening of your spiritual awareness and sensitivity. Come, to pray without understanding is to walk through life with spiritual blinders. You may sense trouble, deception, or conflict, but you often fail to discern the source or respond effectively. Understanding this prayer sharpens your spiritual senses. Come, giving you the ability to recognize and navigate the unseen forces that influence your daily life. Psalm 120 is a cry for deliverance from lies, strife, and oppression. When you engage with it intentionally, you begin to see life from God's perspective. You learn to distinguish truth from falsehood, honesty from deceit, and peace from conflict. This awareness is not just theoretical, it manifests in your daily interactions. You start noticing situations that could have led to misunderstanding or harm, and you are able to respond with discernment rather than reaction. A spiritual sensitivity also heightens your ability to hear God's voice. As you pray and meditate on Psalm 120, your heart becomes attuned to the Spirit. You begin to sense guidance, warnings, and encouragement even before events unfold. You start to recognize subtle shifts in your environment, people's intentions, hidden motives, and potential pitfalls, because your spirit is aligned with God's truth. This sensitivity is a form of protection, allowing you to avoid traps and navigate life with wisdom. Furthermore, awareness and sensitivity strengthen your prayer life itself. When you understand the depth of Psalm 120, you no longer pray passively. Each word becomes deliberate, and each declaration is backed by insight into the spiritual dynamics at play. You begin to pray not only for yourself, but with insight into the broader spiritual atmosphere around you, your home, workplace, community, and nation. In essence, spiritual awareness and sensitivity turn prayer into a proactive, protective, and guiding force. It equips you to face deception, conflict, and oppression with clarity and authority. You are no longer passive in life. You are spiritually alert, perceptive, and empowered to walk in divine protection and guidance. This is one of the profound benefits of truly understanding and engaging in a 30-minute Psalm 120 morning prayer. True clarity of purpose in prayer. Prayer is often thought of as a simple routine words spoken, requests made, and perhaps a moment of quiet reflection. But there is a profound difference between praying out of habit and praying with clarity of purpose. Understanding why you pray and what your prayer is meant to achieve transforms the act from a ritual into a powerful encounter with God. This is especially true for a focused 30-minute morning prayer like the one inspired by Psalm 120. When you begin your day without clear spiritual intent, your thoughts, actions, and emotions can be reactive to circumstances. You wake up, rush through the day, and respond to life rather than guide it. But when you pray with understanding, every word, every declaration, and every moment becomes intentional. Psalm 120 is not just a collection of verses. It is a roadmap for seeking deliverance, truth, and peace in the midst of challenges. Knowing the purpose behind the psalm allows you to engage deeply with its message. You are no longer just reciting words. You are aligning yourself with God's protection, guidance, and favor. Clarity of purpose also ensures that prayer is transformative. When you understand that the 30-minute morning prayer is designed to shield your heart, strengthen your faith, and position you for victory, your mindset shifts. You enter prayer with expectation, not uncertainty. Your heart opens fully, your faith is activated, and your focus is undistracted. This level of intentionality invites God's presence in a tangible way, allowing spiritual breakthroughs to manifest in real life circumstances. Moreover, the clarity of purpose helps maintain consistency and discipline. When you understand the significance of dedicating 30 uninterrupted minutes each morning, you approach prayer with dedication, knowing that it is a vital foundation for the day. It becomes less about obligation and more about investing in your spiritual life, your peace, and your alignment with God. In essence, praying with clarity transforms your relationship with God from routine to powerful. Your day from reactive to purposeful, and your life from ordinary to align with divine influence. Understanding prayer elevates it from habit to a life-changing experience. 2. Manifestation of divine protection. One of the most immediate and powerful outcomes of truly understanding the 30-minute Psalm 120 morning prayer is the manifestation of divine protection in your life. Protection here is not merely a wish or hope, it is an active, tangible reality that begins to operate when you pray with understanding, faith, and intentionality. Psalm 120 is a cry for deliverance from deception, strife, and oppression, and when embraced fully, it becomes a spiritual shield that guards your heart, mind, and environment. Divine protection begins in the unseen realm. Thereby, spending focused time in prayer each morning, you create a spiritual atmosphere where negative forces lose their power. Lies, deceit, and schemes meant to harm you are exposed and rendered powerless. The enemy's plans are disrupted, not because of your strength, but because of alignment with God's authority. This protection is not passive, it is active. Every deliberate prayer, every declaration from Psalm 120 is like a command that positions angels and divine influence around you, ensuring that harm cannot penetrate your life. Manifestation of protection is also evident in your daily experiences. You begin to notice situations where you are spared from conflict, misunderstandings, or attacks. Opportunities unfold favorably, relationships are safeguarded. There are challenges that would normally overwhelm, you are neutralized. When you understand and pray this psalm with expectation, you move through your day with confidence, knowing that God's hand is actively defending your steps. Another aspect of this protection is inner peace. Divine protection is not only external, it shields your mind and emotions. Anxiety, fear, and worry that might arise from unseen threats are replaced with calm and assurance. You become untouchable in spirit, even when circumstances around you appear chaotic. Finally, understanding Psalm 120 empowers you to pray with authority for others. As you align yourself with God's protective power, you can extend this spiritual coverage over your family, friends, workplace, and community. The prayer transforms from a personal safeguard to a channel of divine protection for all within your sphere of influence. In essence, the manifestation of divine protection is the fruit of understanding, faith, and consistent engagement with Psalm 120. It ensures that you walk through life under the shelter of God's power, fearless and secure. Transformation of the mindset. One of the most profound results of truly understanding the 30-minute Psalm 120 morning prayer is the transformation of your mindset. Prayer is not merely about speaking words to God, it is about shaping the way you think, perceive, and respond to life. When you begin to grasp the depth of Psalm 120 and pray it with intentionality, your mind begins to shift from fear, doubt, and anxiety toward peace, confidence, and expectation of divine intervention. Psalm 120 is a prayer for deliverance from deceit, strife, and oppression. Meditating on these truths allows you to see life differently. You no longer view challenges as threats, but as opportunities for God's power to manifest. Understanding this prayer creates a mental framework rooted in God's protection and favor. Each time you pray, your mind is being renewed and rewired to expect good outcomes rather than anticipate harm. Transformation of mindset also affects how you respond to difficulties. A mind shaped by Psalm 120 does not react impulsively to conflict or deception. Instead, it responds with discernment, patience, and wisdom. The power of this prayer trains your thoughts to align with God's perspective rather than worldly reasoning. Where you might have felt anxious or overwhelmed, clarity and calmness begin to prevail. You develop the habit of seeing God's hand at work in every situation, which fosters resilience and hope. Moreover, a transformed mindset creates confidence in action. Understanding Psalm 120 equips you to move boldly through your day. Knowing that the spiritual atmosphere around you is aligned with protection, favor, and divine guidance. Your decisions are no longer reactive but intentional, informed by a sense of spiritual clarity. You begin to act from a place of authority. Knowing that your prayers establish boundaries for the enemy and secure divine assistance for your endeavors. Finally, the transformation of mindset extends to your faith and expectation. When you pray with understanding, you begin to expect breakthroughs, divine intervention, and solutions that surpass human reasoning. You no longer approach the day with uncertainty or worry. Instead, you approach it with anticipation of God's favor. In essence, understanding and praying Psalm 120 in the morning reshapes your mind. It turns fear into faith, confusion into clarity, and doubt into expectation, preparing you to face the day with confidence, peace, and victory. Consistency becomes powerful. One of the most overlooked aspects of a powerful spiritual life is consistency. Many people experience breakthroughs only to lose them because they lack regularity in their spiritual practices. Understanding the 30-minute Psalm 120 morning prayer brings a new perspective. It shows that when prayer is done consistently, it becomes a force that transforms your life over time. Consistency turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results, and in the context of morning prayer, it becomes a pathway to divine alignment, protection, and favor. When you understand why you dedicate 30 focused minutes to Psalm 120 each morning, it stops feeling like a ritual and becomes a deliberate investment in your spiritual life. Every day you engage with this prayer, you reinforce a spiritual pattern, just as daily exercise strengthens the body. Daily prayer strengthens your spirit. The more consistent you are, the more natural it becomes to walk in faith, discernment, and victory throughout your day. Over time, the effects of this consistency are cumulative. Challenges that once overwhelmed you no longer have the same power. And opportunities you never anticipated begin to unfold. Consistency also amplifies faith. When you pray regularly and intentionally, you begin to notice results. This builds confidence in God's responsiveness and the authority of your prayers. The 30-minute morning prayer is not a one-time formula for miracles. It is a discipline that produces sustained spiritual growth and influence. Each day you pray, you build momentum, and this momentum compounds into a life characterized by favor, protection, and divine intervention. Moreover, consistent prayer strengthens your relationship with God. It trains your heart to prioritize His presence and guidance above the distractions of life. There your spirit becomes sensitive to His direction, and your life aligns naturally with His will. What once required struggle or effort now flows with ease because you have established a rhythm that God honors. In essence, consistency is the secret multiplier of prayer. 30 minutes every morning may seem small at first, but when done faithfully, it becomes a powerful engine for transformation. Understanding this principle turns discipline into a spiritual weapon that shapes your mindset, your circumstances, life alignment, and favor. One of the most powerful outcomes of understanding and engaging in the 30-minute Psalm 120 morning prayer is the alignment of your life with God's will and the manifestation of divine favor. Life alignment means that your thoughts, actions, and decisions begin to flow in harmony with God's purposes. When you consistently pray and meditate on Psalm 120, you are not merely seeking protection from deceit and strife. You are positioning yourself to operate in the rhythm of God's plan for your life. The understanding this prayer allows you to see that alignment is more than coincidence. It is deliberate. Each morning, that as you spend 30 focused minutes in prayer, you are tuning your spirit to the same frequency as God's guidance. Your mind becomes alert to opportunities that you might otherwise overlook. You start to notice doors opening, connections forming, and solutions appearing where there seem to be none. This is favor, the supernatural assistance that positions you for success, provision, and breakthrough beyond your natural effort. Alignment also influences decision making. When your spirit is tuned through consistent prayer, you are less likely to make choices based on impulse, fear, or external pressure. Instead, your decisions are informed by divine insight. You begin to move with confidence, knowing that the steps you take reflect a higher wisdom and guidance. Life alignment ensures that you are not fighting against circumstances or struggling unnecessarily. Instead, you operate in a flow where challenges are met absolutely. Here's as a powerful conclusion that ties all 6 keynotes together into a cohesive and inspiring message. Conclusion. Beloved, when we reflect on the power of the 30-minute Psalm 120 morning prayer, one truth becomes clear. This is not just a prayer, it is a life-transforming encounter with God. Understanding it changes everything. It gives your day purpose, sharpens your spiritual awareness, and surrounds you with divine protection. It transforms your mindset, strengthens your consistency, and aligns your life with God's will, opening the door for His favor to manifest in every area. When you pray with understanding, you are no longer passive in life. You step into a rhythm where challenges are met with discernment, their difficulties are overcome with peace, and opportunities are recognized with clarity. Every deception, every conflict, every unseen attack loses its power because you are operating under God's authority. Your thoughts are renewed, your actions are intentional, and your spirit is anchored in faith. Consistency in prayer compounds its power. 30 minutes each morning may seem small, but when done with clarity and focus, it becomes the engine that drives your life toward breakthrough. It is in this consistent, intentional time with God that your spirit is fortified, your faith is strengthened, and your life begins to align with divine purpose. Ultimately, their understanding and practicing this prayer positions you to walk in supernatural favor. Doors that were closed open, relationships that were strained are restored, and your steps are guided in alignment with God's wisdom.